Good morning. Welcome to the Windsor Star News Cafe. I'm Don MacArthur here with Dylan Christie and our very special guest, Karen Hall. You know her, you love her. She writes columns, but she also is the face behind Windsor Star editorials.
That's right, the faceless face.
The faceless face. And they came out today with an endorsement. Drew Dilkens, Karen, talk about that.
Well, I think Anne has said pretty much the same thing as I'm going to say, which is we looked at the three leading candidates, and that was, in alphabetical order, Drew Dilkens, Larry Horowitz, and John Milson. And we weighed the pros and cons, and we decided that Drew was the best choice for mayor.
Excellent. Now, so were there other things? Was it a hard choice? You had to go in. Anne said that she felt Milson didn't have a plan, that Horowitz had too many ideas, and it seemed kind of impossible to actually achieve all of them. Is it just Dilkens' experience to be able to, because he's the youngest, but also kind of the most experienced with his time on council? Is that what played into it most? Or?
Well, he's definitely the most experienced in this modern age of municipal government, where you look at it almost as running a corporation. I mean, it is the corporation of the city of Windsor, right? A multi-million-dollar operation. I think we came at this saying there's never going to be another Eddie Francis. Love him or hate him, he ran things well. People who hated him voted for him. We could never explain that, right? So we have to take that off the table right away. Drew is not going to be Eddie. Okay, nobody's going to do that. But he does have the most experience. He seems to understand the fundamentals of how to run this business. When you ask him a question, he has an answer. And, you know, that's such a simple thing. But neither John Milson nor Larry Horowitz could answer a question. I think genetically, Larry is incapable of doing it. It's not his DNA. Milson just didn't have the answer. And that became very clear. And so, you know, it becomes a popularity contest. Everybody likes John. Everybody supposedly likes Larry.
The ambassador. You guys called him the great Windsor's best ambassador?
He'd be a great ambassador. The problem with John is he believes whatever the last person who spoke to him had to say, right? He wants to make everybody happy. You can't do it. I don't want to have dinner with the mayor. I just want you to make the city a place where I want to live. Don't make me feel stupid for staying here.
Okay. And you did lay a little love on Larry Horowitz as well, though. I mean, you said he has big dreams. Maybe they're too big for Windsor, better suited for New York. But still, you said he was sort of engaging and had some good ideas. Ball of energy.
A ball of energy, yeah. I mean, he needs to take some drugs, knock it down a bit. He's always referring to New York. Well, you came back here, and here is not New York, right? So some of the ideas that you have are just not even suitable for a city of this size. It makes no sense. So why invest the energy in that? We also thought he was pretty scattered. He's all over the place. And if you can't focus, you can't run a city.
Okay. Let's talk about the Auditor General for a second, because in all the questions Dilkens answered, the one he kind of muddled was the Auditor General. And in fact, he probably dropped the ball, ultimately, in terms of the editorial board's view.
That was shocking. He said at the chamber debate that we had an Auditor General. In fact, Auditors General, because we had all these people from PricewaterhouseCoopers, whatever it is. And Anne is the one who called him out on that and said, can this company do all of these things? And he said yes. Helga said no. Then he comes to our editorial board and he does the same damn thing again and says we have an Auditor General. So, you know, we said you need to go back and you need to check that. If you don't know the answer, then find it. And if you refuse to believe it, then there's something really wrong here. He really, really disappointed us with that behavior. I mean, it makes no sense. So even then, you know, we're still endorsing him, and that tells you how badly we felt the other candidates did in achieving the benchmarks that we had for them.
Well, let's talk about that endorsement, because as long as there's been newspapers, they've been giving endorsements from the editorial staff there, and probably as long as they've been giving those editorial endorsements, There's been people saying that they have no right in doing it. So can you just kind
They
of
haven't always done it in Facebook comments like they are on our
Yeah,
editorial.
that's right.
They were on us last night, right away,
Yeah, right away.
saying we shouldn't be doing this.
I'm thinking, I think it's good that you're looking online at 10 o'clock on a Thursday night, but really, go to a Spitfire game, go to a movie, have a life, but that's a whole other story. And I've been getting emails today and phone calls. And yeah, as you say, newspapers have always given their opinion, and you can choose to accept it or not. You can choose to buy the paper. You can turn the page if you don't want to know.
Yeah.
But I think it's really ironic that we give our readers a voice with letters to the editor, and now with the comments section on the web. If we're going to give you a voice, why would we not extend the privilege to ourselves to have a voice? And I defy anyone to say they've invested as much time as we all have in the issues of this election. I mean, I'm going to go write a thesis or something.
Well, that's it exactly, because you're not just throwing a dart at a dartboard and picking a candidate. We've had all the candidates come in. We've met with them. You yourself, you write editorials, and you're following issues that come before city council. So you know these issues probably better than some of the candidates themselves. So you follow municipal politics. So when the newspaper does give an endorsement, there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just really.
You're right. We didn't just throw a dart. And speaking of, getting a life, every Monday night, as long as council has been on TV, I have been watching it.
Yeah.
Before that, I used to have to go sit in council chambers. So people will tell me things happen at council, and I'll go, really? I was there. Well, I wasn't there. I've never actually watched city council.
Yeah.
But my Uncle Joe told me, right? It's like,
Sure.
okay.
Excellent.
Okay, fascinating. Make sure you read that editorial. Drew Dilkens, we're endorsing. Anything else, Karen, you want to say about the process or the election?
I want to give a plug for Marty, and not just because I hope he'll buy me a beer, but on the op-ed page today, he talks about this whole process and about Trail Talk, and he talks about you guys and how this has changed the way in which we cover elections. And it's a really good piece, and it does sort of outline how historically things have been done, and this was a groundbreaking moment. You guys must be really tired.
We are tired, but again, no one's going to return our calls on the 28th, right? So we're going to make our hay when the sun shines, and then we're taking a break. He's going to Peru, and I'm going golfing.
Exactly.
Really?
Yes.
Where are you going golfing?
Amherstburg.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, my bowling league starts up, so.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, Karen, always a pleasure. Thanks very much for
you.
joining us on Trail Talk. We're in the Windsor Star News Cafe.